First part of Unify Hub is locations, and these are cloud locations. Here you can see we have Amazon, Google and Wasabi, and an SMB share coming from another server. To add a location, we have a choice of these fantastic providers. Once we've added these locations in, we can then use them inside the CoreOS. We can go to our CoreOS in the background. We can go to File Manager, so we can see our mounted shares. We can go to our Amazon account, and in there you can see all of the files that are actually running in the cloud. We can also create workspaces. So Unify Hub gives you the option of Cloud Workspace, and this allows you to create a local share from a cloud account. So if we click in here, we've got the options of using some cloud accounts we've not yet made a share from. So here, Google, Wasabi and the SMB. The existing workspace we have though is the Amazon share. If I click on this and copy the path, go to my Finder, connect to server, it will then bring me up a connection to that cloud account, and I can see through my Finder over the network on SMB the contents of the Amazon cloud. I can copy files up and copy files back down again. Very, very easy to do. See here that we have 4 existing remote workspaces created, and we can also see which users are allocated to these remote workspaces. But for this demonstration we're going to go and create a new remote workspace and then access it via the client. Add remote workspace. In here we're going to go to the Unify Hub volume and choose a folder called Remote. Click Next. It's renamed it automatically with a small r to make sure it's compatible with the S3 protocol. Click Next. We can then choose our policies. We can choose read-only or read-write for the entire remote workspace and therefore any buckets inside. So the default policy will be read-write, but then we can also apply further bucket permissions. So let's go and add a couple of users, Duncan and Edit 1 and Workflow, and then let's turn on the bucket permissions. So here we have 2 buckets. We can go and add, for the media, let's just add the Workflow user as read-write, and we can add in the editor as read-only. For the projects, let's select read-write for Workflow and read-write for editor, and we click Finish. So this will now create the remote workspace, and we will connect to this via the client in a minute. So here we are on the client workstation. Let's then go and add that Unify Hub server we were just working on. Let's call it Office. Put in the IP address of the server, or in fact the host name. Add the user and the password and click Create. This will connect to the Unify Hub at the other end and check which remote workspaces and buckets we have been given access to. So here we've got projects and media. So first of all, what I do is I want to change the cache location for both of them and make sure they're held on the external drive. So I click on Bucket Options and I can choose my cache location, and in this case we want my external drive and a folder called Cache. And let's do the same for projects. So let's mount these buckets now, and we can start working with them. And let's mount the media bucket as well. Now we can go to the file view, and this is important because if we look inside media, you see that we've got some files that are not yet cached down. Caching them allows us to work with them at full speed on the local disk. So let's go ahead and grab these 3 files and cache them. So this is going to copy into that hidden directory those files from the server. And you can see those files being brought down now. The real benefit of this is that we can then utilize those inside the timeline working at full speed. So let's grab those files and wait for them to come down. We also have the ability to be able to move data up to the server as well and work on full speed. So if we go into our media folder here, our remote workspace with the media bucket, perhaps we brought back some video files from location. We can copy those into that directory and immediately they'll copy in at full speed, and we could bring those files directly onto the timeline and start working with them. In the background, our Connect app is now pushing these back to the studio, back to the office for other users to be able to see and also cache. And those files are being uploaded in the background. So that's now been created, and we can then go and grab that media directly from here and straight onto the timeline. Those files are imported. We can play those back at full speed as if we were working in the office, and very, very flexible. So very easy to manage, very easy to work with. We can close that project down and save that, and you'll notice in the projects folder we then have our demo project and also our autosave file as well. So there you can see working with the Unify Connect app, incredibly simple.